Leadership comes with responsibility. As a leader, you're the person who employees look up to. They rely on you to steer them in the right direction, model successful behaviors, and act with integrity. Effective leaders instill confidence in their teams, investors, and customers. That's why the best leaders aren't just business savvy, they're also morally upstanding. So, what does it mean to be an ethical leader? Why is it important? And how can you be the best role model for employees? Let's start with the first question. In short, ethical leadership means doing the right thing and acting according to your individual and organizational values. Doing the right thing doesn't just mean following the law, though that is essential for ethical leadership. It also means trying to do what's best for customers, for employees, for the business, and even for the greater community or environment in which you operate. Ethical leaders hold themselves and their employees accountable. They serve as role models for the rest of the company. This is important because ethical behavior starts from the top. A leader, by definition, is someone who has influence. It's no surprise that employees take cues from business leaders on how they should conduct themselves and what behavior is or isn't acceptable at work. But that isn't the only benefit of ethical leadership. Ethical leaders also cultivate happier employees. Employees who trust, respect, and believe in company leaders are more likely to feel satisfied with their jobs and connected to their organization overall. In turn, happier employees are more productive, perform better, and stay at the company longer. Ethical leadership also fosters a positive work culture. Leaders set the tone for a company's culture. So, modeling positive behaviors like honesty, accountability, and teamwork will encourage employees to follow suit and shape the work culture accordingly. Finally, ethical leadership builds a better brand reputation and business. Leaders represent the company's brand. When you take care of your employees, do the right thing by customers, and invest in the common good, you create a positive brand reputation that builds public trust and attracts and retains more customers. Ethical leadership has a ripple effect on the rest of the business. It creates a positive work culture that encourages employees to act with integrity and accountability. Employees are happier and feel a higher level of connection and commitment to the company. And all of these factors improve the brand image, which attracts and retains more customers. So, now that you know what ethical leadership is and why it's important, the next question is, what does ethical leadership involve? Dr. Bill Grace developed the 4V model of ethical leadership. The 4Vs stand for values, vision, voice, and virtue. Let's explore each. First is values. Ethical leadership requires you to define and commit to your personal values. Use your values as a lens to filter your words, actions, and decisions. They'll direct the 3Vs that follow. You can clarify your values by asking questions like, what's most important to me? What principles or morals do I live by? And what do I believe in, or how do I determine right from wrong? The second V stands for vision. Translate your values into your organizational or team vision. Consider how your values can inform and shape your company goals and processes. How can you implement your values? For example, imagine that generosity is one of your core values. In this case, you might use that value to inform your customer service model and business partnerships. You might make regular donations to nonprofit organizations, and you might train customer service agents to be generous with their time and knowledge. The third V stands for voice. Voice your values and vision to the rest of your company or team. Communicate your values and vision clearly and often. Create a code of conduct for acceptable and unacceptable behaviors, and encourage employees to speak up when they witness conduct that contradicts your ethical values. The fourth and final V stands for virtue. Virtue means leading by example and practicing what you preach. It involves living your values and vision through your words, actions, and decisions. Individual values may differ from leader to leader, and that's okay. There are still some best practices that every ethical leader should follow. So, let's end with 5 tips to become a more ethical leader overall. The first tip is simple. It's to treat people well. Put people before profits. Treat every employee with respect, kindness, and dignity. For example, listen to employees' ideas, give positive feedback, verbally express your appreciation of others, pay fair wages, set realistic goals, working hours, and expectations, and never insult, berate, bully, or abuse employees. The second tip is to be transparent. Explain the reasoning behind your decisions. Give regular and truthful updates about the business. Connect employees to your plans and vision for the future. And always be upfront about setbacks, failures, and challenges that you or the business is facing. In contrast, don't overpromise or exaggerate results, and never conceal or distort the truth. Tell people like it is, and they'll respect you for it. The third tip is to be fair. Leaders need to avoid favoritism and conflicts of interest. Base hiring, promotion, and other business decisions on data, facts, experience, and qualifications. Treating people fairly also means allocating resources fairly. That includes the allocation of money, information, people, time, and equipment or other company assets. Fourth is to democratize decision-making. While there are situations in which you'll need to make an executive call, try to involve other people in the discussion and decision-making process as much as possible, and avoid hoarding or monopolizing power. The final tip is to address ethical issues as they arise. Never ignore ethical violations or let employee misconduct slide. Instead, address misconduct quickly and directly. Investigate the issue and choose the appropriate response. Some situations may call for a frank conversation and a verbal or written warning, but illegal behavior or egregious misconduct may warrant more severe punishment, including termination. Employees watch and follow in their leaders' footsteps, which is why it's so important that leaders behave ethically. So, adopt these best practices to become the leader who elicits the confidence and commitment of their employees and customers. Doing the right thing isn't just good ethics, it's also good leadership and good business.